Welcome to the Spiritist Companion podcast. My name is Yuri Castro, and I'll be your companion on this journey where we study, reflect, and put Spiritist teachings into practice. If you enjoy what you hear, don't forget to subscribe, to follow our pages, and most importantly, to send this podcast to someone else as well. And today's topic appears simple at first glance, yet it carries a profoundly transformative message. We're going to be talking about the widow's mite, about when a little means a lot. What truly has value in the eyes of God? Is it the amount we give? Is it the size of our contribution or the intention behind our actions? Let's reflect together. The story about the widow's mite is one that is very interesting. And we can find that in the Gospels of Mark and Luke. First, we get that Jesus was observing people placing their offerings into the temple treasury. Many wealthy individuals contributed large sums. Then what happened? A poor widow approached. So let's first stop and think here. It was a busy place, people coming and going, contributions being made, and among those giving there were, of course, wealthy people who were offering generous amounts, visible, significant by any standard measure. Then this poor widow, this woman approaches. She drops in 2 small coins, an amount so small that it would barely be noticed by those at that time. But our dear Master Jesus notices. And he says something that completely inverts the logic of what everyone around him was seeing. He said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all the others." More than all the others. Not a little more, my dear friends. More than all of them. How could someone who gave almost nothing, because there were only 2 small coins, have given more than those who gave a great deal? That's the question Jesus leaves hanging in the air. And one question that Allan Kardec, the codifier of Spiritism, is going to go deeper and talk about it in chapter 13 of the Gospel according to Spiritism. First, he's going to mention how many people regret not being able to do as much good as they would like because they lack sufficient resources. They desire wealth and they say that it is so they can put that wealth to good use. Their intention, he says, is of course praiseworthy and might be quite sincere for some. However, could it be, without question, completely disinterested? And here the codifier is already talking about the intention behind that action. Those whose intentions, he's going to say, are pure of any personal interest ought to console themselves with their powerlessness to do all the good they would like to do. They should think of the mite, and here mite with M-I-T-E, the widow's mite, of the poor who give by depriving themselves, but which weighs more on God's scales than the gold of the rich who give without denying themselves anything. Is gold the only thing that can dry tears, and must one remain inactive by not possessing it? Of course not. Those who sincerely desire to be useful to their brothers and sisters will find thousands of opportunities. Let them seek and they will find them, if not in one way, then in another. For there are none who, enjoying the full use of their faculties, cannot render some sort of service, provide some consolation, mitigate physical or even mental suffering, or do something useful. And this is a wake-up call for everyone, because we all have something useful to give, to donate, always. In spite of a lack of money, we may have time, we may have other things available. If we go back to the Gospel of Mark and the Gospel of Luke with this passage, we will see that Jesus' explanation is straightforward. The rich gave from what they had left over, whereas the widow gave from what she needed. That distinction is not small. Giving from our surplus can be generous, of course, but it can also be comfortable. It could be a contribution that changes nothing in our lives. We walk away with the same comfort, the same security, the same routine we had before. We don't necessarily feel something. But that widow, in that moment, felt it. She gave what she had, and she gave it anyway. Kardec draws a principle from this that I find essential. The merit of charity isn't in the amount, it's in the sacrifice. It's in the intention. It's in the degree of detachment in the heart. And I think that helps shift quite a bit in how we think about what we have to offer. Because once again, a lot of us may say, oh, I have so little to give. When I have more money, I'll help more. When I have more time, I'll get involved. Or when my life is more settled, then I'll be able to do all of that. It may be a logic that sounds reasonable, but the widow's scene put this in question. She didn't wait. She had nothing set aside for later. She came with what she had right then. And our dear Master Jesus didn't look at her with pity for giving so little. Quite the opposite. He held her up as an example for everyone around him. And my dear friends, that doesn't mean that we should deprive ourselves of what we need or act recklessly. But it does mean that doing good doesn't depend on abundance. It all starts with willingness. And of course, when this passage comes to mind, the instinct, it may be to think about money, to be thinking about donations, financial resources, but we know this teaching reaches much further than that. The widow's offering might be an afternoon you gave to someone who was struggling when you had other things to do. It might be the patience you held on to in a hard conversation when snapping back would have been so much easier. It might be the visit you made, the silence you kept when you could have said something unkind, or the prayer you offered for someone who doesn't even know you were thinking of them. It's not about the value of the gesture by the world's measuring stick. It's about what it cost you and what was inside it when you gave it. Another point that the codifier talks about is vanity. And it's something uncomfortable, I know. There's a way of doing good that on the inside is more concerned with image than with actually helping. Giving but wanting people to know, helping but waiting acknowledgement, serving but feeling quite resentful when no one notices. Our dear Master Jesus was very direct about this. Good done in order to be seen loses something essential along the way. Not all its value, of course, but something real. The widow there was not performing. She was not building or trying to build a reputation. She walked up, dropped in her 2 coins, probably left without knowing she had just become an example that would be told for millennia. And that's something interesting about the marks of a truly pure gesture that we see sometimes, that the person making it doesn't know how large it is. So let's bring this knowledge, this content into some more concrete situations, some everyday scenes perhaps. First of all, in terms of time. In a world where everyone is so busy, stopping to truly listen to someone, not out of obligation, not while glancing at your phone, but being genuinely present is a form of charity that costs something real. and the person on the other side can feel the difference. Let's also think about our words. A word of comfort at the right moment can be worth far more than anything material. And sometimes we don't say it because we think it won't help, or we're not quite sure where to start. But we say it anyway, my dear friends. That's the offering. Also at home, there's a strange irony in wanting to help the world while being impatient with the people living right beside us. The closest charity, more understanding towards the people you love, more listening, more everyday gentleness is just as real and just as valuable as any other form of service. We can also think of a prayer. Sometimes we can't solve anyone's problem. There's no money to give, no practical help or practical way to help, but we can always pray. We can hold someone who's suffering in our thoughts with genuine care. And that's not nothing. No, it's a concrete way of offering what we have. So how can we apply and live this lesson of the widow's mite? I brought 5 things here. First, let's do good with the resources we have today. Let's not wait for the perfect condition. Those don't exist. Number 2, let's value small acts, because love is expressed through details as well. Number 3, let's avoid displaying our charity just for the sake of it, because goodness does not require applause. Number 4, let's offer time and attention as well. Not every donation is material. And number 5, let's serve with joy. The intention is just as important as the action, as I've talked throughout this entire episode. So what do we actually take with us when we go? Not money, not property, not the name we built, nor the titles we accumulated. What the Spirit carries are the qualities it developed, the love it offered, the good it actually did, not the good it planned to do, not the good it intended to practice when the conditions were right or were perfect. No, the good that was genuinely done with what was available now, even if little. The widow didn't take much from that scene in worldly terms, but she took something that the wealthy contributors who gave so much more in a material way may not have taken with them. Genuine detachment, the trust to give without holding back. So let's remember the widow of the gospel, my dear friends. She possessed very little, and yet she gave greatly. Because the value of a gesture is not measured by what leaves our hands, it is measured by what comes from our hearts. Every act of kindness, every word of comfort, every sincere effort to help another person, all of it has value before God. And often the smallest gestures on earth become the greatest treasures of the Spirit. Thank you so much, my dear friends, for joining me for another episode of the Spiritist Companion podcast. If this reflection touched your heart, please share it with someone who may need to remember that no act of love is ever too small in the eyes of God. We'll meet again next Monday for another episode, and until then, remain at peace. Value every opportunity to serve and keep moving forward, one step at a time, doing good with what you already have. With fraternal love, your Spiritist Companion.